Watch all lessons for free on youtube.com/pgmpiano. Hey guys, and welcome to this lesson, which is how to play the piano if you're visually impaired or even completely blind. Now, this is not some kind of sick joke. I am a professional piano teacher here on YouTube, and I want to teach you how to play the piano, even though you may see very little or nothing at all. Now, during this lesson, I will film my piano the way I usually do, because maybe you've got a mentor like a brother or sister, mother or father, who wants to assist you in trying to learn how to play the piano, and then they can see if you make any mistakes and try to correct you. But I hope this lesson will be clear enough so you won't need anybody and you can just listen to it and learn the piano whilst doing that. So what I will learn you in this lesson is which types of keys you have on the piano, the white keys and the black keys, and how these keys are called. So I'm going to start at the very beginning, so I'm sure you will not miss out on anything. Okay, so what I would like you to do right now is to place your right hand on the piano. You don't have to play anything yet. And just feel a little bit. And hopefully you feel two different types of keys. You feel two rows. Okay? You feel the ones where your fingers get caught. If you try to slide from left to right, and a little bit lower, you can simply move your hand from left to right, slide over the keys. Now the bottom row of keys are the white keys. Okay, you can simply slide over them without getting stuck. The top row of keys are much harder to slide over with your hand because your fingers will get stuck a little bit, and these are the black keys. Okay, so what I would like you to do right now is to play some of the white keys. Doesn't matter which one. Okay, and you can hear that you have low keys and high keys. It sounds pretty high right here and pretty low right here. Now the further you go to the left of the piano, the lower the note will be. The further you go to the right of the piano, the higher the note will be. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is to try and find this note. Okay? The way you do that is that if you play any note, for instance this one, and you hear it's a little bit higher because this note is higher than the note we're trying to look for, which is this one, then you need to go to the left of the piano, okay? The more you go to the left, the lower the note will be, and the more you go to the right, the higher the note will be. Okay, now the note we are trying to find is almost in the middle of the piano, okay? So it's this note. So try to play somewhere in the middle of the piano. Say for instance you've got this one. Then just play every note until you get there. Okay, so go down, 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 even further down until you hit this one. If you're a little bit too low, for instance here, go higher, play each note, until you hit this one. Okay, so now we're going to try and find it. I'm going to play it a few times and you are going to try and match the note you play to this note. Okay, now I hope you found it. If you haven't found it, then please ask someone to help you out here, because this is the most difficult part of this entire lesson. You need to find any note, which is this one right now, so that I can teach you from there. Okay, you have to have some type of reference, and that will be this note. Okay, so if you have it, or if you've asked someone to find it for you and you have it right now, this note is called the middle C. And the notes I'm going to teach you right now are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, because that are all the notes that are on the white row. Okay, so what I would like you to do right now is to play the middle C with your pointer finger, press the key all the way down and keep it down there, okay? Okay, now you can slide your finger from left to right to feel how wide this key is. Okay, it's pretty wide. Now all the keys in this row, all the white keys, have the same width, okay? So this is the width of each key. Now what I would like you to do right now is to play the key right to this one, which is the D. Okay, now go back to the C. So we have C, D, and this will be alphabetically from now on, okay? So let's try another one, which is to the right of the D, and that will be the E. Okay, now go back to the left and play the D. Go back to the left once more and play the C again. Okay? Okay, so now I want you to play the C again, and then we move up the piano. Up the piano means go to the right. Down the piano means go to the left, okay? Because up is higher notes and down is lower notes. So we play the C, then we move up the piano one note to the D, then another one to the E, then another one which will be the F, then another one which will be the G. Okay, and now we move back down to the F, back down to the E, back down to the D, and back down to the C. Okay. Now after the G comes the H, right? Wrong. After the G we start all over with A, B, C, D, and then we continue. Okay, so let's try that. We start on the C. Now we move up to the D. Now the E. Now the F. The G. And now we go a little bit further to the right. The next one will be the A. A B. And guess what? Now we have another C. Okay, so now we go back down, C. And right now this is the high C. Go back down to the B. A. G. F. E. D. And C. Okay, so once more. C. D. E. F. G. A. B. C. And get back down. Now I would like you to name out the notes, okay? So I'm going to play them. You can play along. Start on the C and you have to name them. Okay, now what were to happen if I were to continue to the right? Continue to go up the piano. What would this note be called? It would be a D again, right? Very good. Okay, so let's continue up the piano. So we have a D and E, F, okay, so now we have to get all the way back down to the middle C again. So here we go. Okay, this is the first C we encounter, but it's not the middle C. We still have to go down another part until we reach the middle C. A, G, F, E, D, C. Okay, so the middle C. Okay, so now let's try one more thing. Let's go down to the left of the piano. So we have middle C, and now we go down, we play a B, and an A, and then we get a G, that's right, and then F, E, D, and C again. Okay, so now we get back up, C, D, okay, like this. Okay, now that are all the white keys and you now know how they are called. At least if you start on the middle C, When you go up, they will go D, E, F, G, and then you start again A, B, C, D. And when you start on the middle C and you go down, it will be B, A, and then G, F, E, D, C, B, A. But what about the black keys? I would like you to take your right hand and feel across the black keys. Okay, move from left to right. You can play them a little bit. Okay. Now the black keys are a little bit narrower than the white keys. They are a little bit thinner. Okay. And every black key is positioned between two white keys. Now for each 7 white keys, for instance, if we start on the middle C and go up D, E, F, G, A, B, those are 7 white keys. For each 7 white keys, we have 5 black keys, okay? So try and feel that. Try and play the middle C. And now try and feel the first black key you can find. It's almost right above the middle C, right here. Feel a little bit to the right, you will feel the next one. And now there will be a little gap between this one and the next one, because they are not placed right next to each other, okay? So this will be the next one. And now the next one will be pretty close again. And the next one will be pretty close again. Okay? So let's try and find the middle C again. This one. Okay. So if I were to go up the piano, starting on the middle C, and I would not just play the white keys, but also the black keys, okay, then it would go like this. And it would take me 12 keys, or at least I would have played 12 keys when I reached this B. Now let's get back to the middle C again. Okay, now, if you put your thumb on the middle C and your pointer finger on the D next to it and your middle finger on the E next to that, and you simply slide your hand forward, then you will feel the 2 black keys. You can grab them between your fingers, right? Okay, so that's the first set of black keys. You have 2 black keys. And then a little bit to the right, as you felt before, we have 3, okay? So we have a packet of 2 black keys and 3. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so now let's go back to the middle C. And now I'm going to tell you how the black keys are called. And this is pretty difficult because they have 2 names each. Now we have 5 black keys, and these black keys lie in between 2 white keys. Now if a black key is positioned to the right of a white key, we call it a sharp. If a black key is positioned to the left of a white key, we call it a flat. Okay? Now, do we just call it a sharp or a flat? No. We also use the name of the white key it's next to. So if I were to play a certain key which is on the right side of a white C, for instance the middle C, then it would be called a sharp, and it would be named after the white note it's next to, so it would be called a C sharp. Okay, because it's next to a C and it's on the right side next to a C. Now if I, for instance, want to find out how a particular black note is called, which sits left from a white D, then I would have to call it a flat, because it's positioned on the left side of the D. So that note would be called after the D, which is D, and because it's on the left side, it would be called D flat. Okay, so each black note on the left side of a white note is called a flat. Each black note on the right side of a white note is called a sharp. Now obviously, because the black keys lay in between 2 white keys, it will always be on the right side of a certain white key, but also on the left side of another white key. And that is why they have 2 names. Okay, so now let's play the middle C. And I want you to play the black note on the right side of the middle C. Now this must be a sharp, right? Because it's on the right side of the middle C. So this is a C sharp. But if I were to continue and play the next white note, which is a D, then that same black key we just played a second ago is now on the left side of the white D. So it's also a flat. It's a D flat. This basically means that this note, which is the black key that sits in between the C and the D of the white notes, is both a C sharp because it's on the right side of a C, and a D flat because it's on the left side of a D. Now you would say, why did they give it two names? Well, that I will teach you later. For now you just have to know that each black key has two names. If it's on the right side of a white note, we call it a sharp, so a C sharp, and if it's on the left side of a white note, we call it a flat, so for instance a D flat. Okay, so now let's try and name all the black keys. So let's start on the middle C again. And now you move up to the right to the first black key you can find, this one. Okay, now I just told you how it's called, so it's pretty easy. It's right from the C, so it's a C sharp, and it's left from the D, so it's also called a D flat. But now let's find out how the next black key is called. So move to the right and play the next black key. Okay, this one. This one is sitting right from a D and left from an E. Now on the right side of a D would mean it would be a D sharp. On the left side of an E would mean it would be an E flat. Okay, so this note is both a D sharp and an E flat. Now let's move along to the next black key. And as you know, that's pretty far because we just ended the packet of 2 keys and now we entered the package of 3 keys. So this key, how would this key be called? It's sitting on the right side of an F and it's sitting on the left side of a G. So right of an F means it will be an F sharp. Left of a G means it will be a G flat. Now let's move along to the next black key. And I want you to try this one for yourself. It's sitting on the right side of a G and on the left side of an A. So right of a G would mean it would be called a G sharp. Yes, very good. And left of an A would mean it would be called a flat. That's correct. Okay, so the next black key, which is also the last one, is this one. It's sitting right from an A and left to a B. That's correct. Okay, so right from an A means it's an A sharp, and left from a B means it's a B flat. Okay, so now let's go back to the middle C again. And now we will name all the black keys, but we are just going to call out the sharps. Okay, so the first black key you encounter to the right of the C will be a C sharp. The next one will be a D sharp. The next one will be a, no, not an E sharp, it's an F sharp. G sharp and A sharp. Okay, now let's walk back. G sharp, F sharp. Remember, there is no E sharp right here. So let's continue. D sharp and C sharp. And now play the middle C again. Okay, so now let's call out the name where a flat is being mentioned. So we start out on the middle C, and then we move up to the right to a D flat, E flat. There is no F flat right here, so G flat, A flat, and B flat. Now let's get back to A flat, G flat, E flat, and D flat. And back to the middle C. Okay, now remember the black notes you just played were exactly the same as the ones you played when it were sharps. Okay, again, they both have two names. They are either called sharp or flat. This is very difficult in the beginning, but once you know it, then you will know it forever. Okay, so right now I'm going to give you 1 or 2 exercises, and if you like this lesson, then please let me know, because then I'm going to put up some other lessons which will actually teach you how to play a song, even though you may not be able to see the piano yourself. Okay? Okay, so let's play the middle C again. Okay, now you can do different things. You can either play all the white keys going to the right and try to say the names, like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Or you can play the middle C and go to the left and say out all the names, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Or if you play the middle C, you can try and name the black keys. You can either name both names or just the sharps or the flats. Okay, so for instance, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. Or you play the middle C and then you move up D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, B flat. Okay? You can also play the middle C and try to go down to the first black note you find. That's this one right here. Now this will be a little bit more tricky for your mind to try and say the correct name right here, because it's in the opposite direction, right? So it would be B flat, A flat, G flat, and then E flat and D flat. And you can also try and say the sharps right here. Okay? So you start on the C, then you go back down to the first black key, A sharp, G sharp, F sharp, go back down, D sharp, C sharp. Okay. Now the most difficult thing to do probably is to call out all the notes, both the white and the black keys in a row. Okay, so you're going to name 12 notes. So for instance, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and now it's not E sharp because it's F. F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Okay, you can also start on the C and name the flats. So we have C, D flat, D, E flat, E, and now no F flat. So F, G flat, G, A flat, A, B flat, B. And you can also walk down the other side of the piano, go down and do the same stuff. Okay, so I really hope you liked this lesson and you learned a lot from it. The black notes are difficult to name because they have 2 names each, which is pretty confusing, but I hope you got it right now, and you should also try and practice this a little bit. I will make a new lesson for you guys if you'd like that, in which I'm going to teach you how to play a song, and then we can actually start on beginning to teach you how to play the piano. Okay, thanks a lot for your attention, and I hope to hear from you guys very soon. Goodbye!